From the depths of internet, we come to you. Bad news, good news, dead horse beating news. Even no news will stop us. We'll make news. Even if it is in dumpster fire. We bring you integrity, except when it's EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda, Star Citizen, practically all of them. Movies, shows, and other industry bullshit. This totally is not a waste of time, but it sure is. Space Waste News!
Hello and welcome to Space Waste News for June 5th, 2021. I am the pilot. This is Yemix. This is obviously his show, but I like to do the intro because I'm much better at it.
Basically, don't do anything instead. So there you
exactly.
go.
I'm only here for the voice. That's it.
Mm.
You know,
you need
someone
who
can
yours truly content sometimes, right? Someone that is not me that is talking.
So exactly. So you provide the content, and I can provide a voice that doesn't sound like a Latvian cheese grater.
I mean, I don't know why did you need to preface this with Latvian, but okay, I'll take it. Okay, well, we got some news to talk about, I suppose, before the big shitstorm basically hits. And frankly speaking, with that perfect note, I suppose we might as well mention that yes, E3 is coming, ladies and gents, next week. E3. Oh boy, interesting news probably will appear, and some very, very, very confused and very lame and, well, whatever other quality you want to attribute to basically executives attempting to portray themselves as human beings, trotting themselves on the stage, trying to present you with another yet another trash fire, or live service most likely. So woohoo!
I'm actually looking forward to you know what? Yes, obviously that we should all be skeptical and, you know, keep our expectations in check and just try not to give any kind of love to these business suits that are trying to attempt to be human. But I'm going to completely walk back all of that and say I'm really kind of excited to get the first look at Starfield. I really am.
Did they promise to put it out on E3?
Yes, we're going to get a look at E3, but it's not going to be out until late 2022.
Well, yeah, that's no problem. Okay, all right. If Starfield it is, okay. Didn't know that one. All right, that sounds pretty.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, excitement is something that just does not dwell within me when it comes to games anymore, which just fucking sucks in of itself. But here we are, I suppose. For me, it's more of interest. That's kind of nice. Well, all right then.
It's smart not to get your expectations too high. That's fair. I mean,
kill hype, damn it. Anyways, carry on.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've all learned our lesson, especially with things like Odyssey, you know, exactly. But here's the thing. And yes, Bethesda squandered a lot of love with both Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. But I always kind of give them a little bit more leeway, even though I shouldn't, because I know that a Bethesda game is going to come out busted and broken as fuck anyway. That's just par for the course. It's the soup du jour. I'm not going to be upset if it comes out busted as fuck as long as it's playable. I like Bethesda bugs. I like exploiting them. I like the weird and messed up shit that happens with it. And I like it when other people find it and make YouTube videos about it. And I mean, good Lord, Internet Historian's video for Fallout 76. Oh God, it's great. You know?
No, overall, I mean, we don't really know what the Starfield is going to be in general as a game. Obviously, we know that it's going to be a single-player game. It's going to be basically you without a spaceship, mostly, probably just trotting between starports or places, what else. So, you know, hey, we kind of need to temper our expectations as to a space game community, I suppose. But hey, if it's basically Skyrim in space, whoop-de fucking do, let's go. Although,
hell yeah, dude.
The last time there was a Skyrim in space, and that was Outer Worlds. No.
You know what? Outer Worlds. You know what?
It's competent. It works, but it's just too little for the price. It's competent
and it works, and it is too little. But you know what? My expectations in my bar has been moved so low at this point that I'm willing to retroactively go back there and give it an A++. Besides.
Wow,
I can't
you've
wait.
been beaten down, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you need to just go play actual good games from back in the day. Jesus, refresh your palate, if you will. It's like a food critic that has been literally forced to eat shit on daily basis and judge it. And
right. Listen, though. Listen. This is going to be a Bethesda game in space, and I am more than welcome to the opportunity to go into an abandoned space station, have the cinematic lighting all around me. It's dark. There's a little bit of light coming from my helmet cam, and I finally pry open the doors, and I hear this horrible guttural noise. And on the other side is Thomas the Tank Engine, because you know that shit is going to be modded on day one. I'm happy, man.
Unless it's a live service game.
Don't do that to me. Don't put evil on me.
Yes, I mean, technically it is a single-player game, but guess what? Elite Dangerous also kind of is, and it's still a massive live service game. So, hey, it's Bethesda. So yeah, it's an interesting topic indeed. Whether or not, well, we'll see. Basically, at least the pre-render super catered cinematic that they're going to be releasing with very few pictures and who knows what. So
exactly.
If it's good,
I need something to distract me from my life here. Come on, let's pick it up, game devs. Tits? Yes, I have, but she's sitting over there, and I can't really say anything about it. Otherwise, I might get something thrown at me.
No. Oh God! All right. Well,
oh God, I'm getting glared at.
Exactly. I would glare too. Anyways, right. So, but yeah, E3. Speaking of actually E3. Do you guys remember this little game called Dead Island? Well, it still hasn't come out. The second part still has not come out, which is just weird to me, because I still remember when I did actually film a couple of things way back before I actually started doing PlanetSide content for, the YouTubes, right? So it was literally nearly 10 years ago when the last game, came out and was, played and blah, blah, blah. And about 5 years after that, we saw this unique and interesting, rather fun trailer coming out of them, as the first Dead Island trailer also was very, very captivating for a lot of people. And since that trailer, nothing. Like absolute silence. And I'm rather surprised that, just still no news about it. I mean, they have confirmed.
I mean, is it still alive?
Apparently it's still on the road to be developed, or rather being developed. So we'll see what comes of it. But I just simply skimmed the news, and it was like Dead Island and one other game is not coming to E3 this year. It's like, yep.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, I mean, I barely remember the game. I remember the excellent trailer that came with it. That was just the whole thing was in reverse. That was great.
Yeah. It was interesting in that, and the gameplay wasn't that bad too. I mean, it was very bullet spongy, but it was something different at the time, at least for the zombie type of games. It was, Jesus Christ, it was even before DayZ, fucking hell. Before the Battle Royale nonsense as well. Well, obviously DayZ was before that, but fuck. It's been that long. Well, still, it is what it is. Well, anyways, let's see. You pick a topic then.
I do think the natives are getting restless. There are some things that we should be talking about, but I'm watching the chats here, and it's very much, oh, Frontier this, Frontier there. I sent Frontier a photocopy picture of my arse in high res with a note saying "Bullseye, well done, F Jesus, man.
I call bullshit
you guys
on that
only
one,
here?
but okay.
Are you only here for the FDev bashing? Jesus, come on, man. All right. I mean, I did kind of pop into your stream yesterday to talk about this, but we suppose we could do this again.
Yeah, we can basically summarize. So yesterday evening, if you didn't catch either my or Obsidian's videos talking about it, or just generally everyone posting the roadmap for the upcoming short future of Odyssey, and well, Pilot, give me your impressions while I pull up the.
That wasn't a fucking roadmap. That's not a fucking roadmap. That's not what that is. That's not what that does. You just wrote the same thing 3 times over. It says multiple improvements. That doesn't fucking mean anything. You didn't tell us what specifically you're working on, where it's going to go, when it's going to get done. You're not telling us who's working on it.
They
if
did
it's
say
being
when
worked
it's going to
on
be
at all.
done, kinda. So
no, they didn't. It's a. I don't trust that shit.
But they put the update 3, Thursday.
Shut up. No. You and I both know it's bullshit. No. It's nothing. It means nothing. Fuck. Why? How? Arthur, I like you, man, but holy shit, I'm a little fucking pissed off at you. What the fuck is this? You couldn't even bother to change the first line? Like, just a better way to present this information? You didn't tell us anything. What are you working on? Minor bug fixes doesn't tell me fucking shit. What bug? Many improvement.
Well, you can't predict future, so it's kind of hard to say what fixes you can make. No.
What's happening internally is people are being pushed off in different directions. Say, you fix this, you fix this, you fix this. Okay. If you go around and say that Team A, and you don't even have to give anyone's name. I would want to be anonymous if I worked there. You give Team A, you put a little bubble in a little tiny timeline, or a Trello, a tablet, something like that. It says Team A is working on this bug. Team B is working on this fix. Team C is looking into UI changes. This and they think they're going to be done by blank date, not firm, but when they have reported that they might be done. And then you move through and you give a report of what the entire team is working on, when they're going to be done, and when we think that it's all going to be fixed. And you know what? That's fine. No one's going to hold you to that timeline. No one's going to be terribly upset if it goes over, or if a team reports that it can't be fixed, and that's just something we're all going to have to live with. It's not ideal, but it's something we will accept because you openly tried communicating and you were transparent with what you were doing. This is a fucking dick slap. What is this? Someone explain it to me.
You want a cynical or you want a PR response there?
Either one. I'm not going to be satisfied either way.
All right, then cynical answer is that this basically this whole roadmap post, this whole fucking thing is essentially damage control and a vain attempt at trying to appease the bigger shouting or majority of the shouting voices in the audience, so that they sort of lose ground, I suppose, and reason to shout, because hey, we promised to do these things, why are you still shouting at us for the broken product that was given or rather pushed out for a certain amount of money that you can't refund anymore. So but there's that.
But it's not. I don't understand it. This is damage control. Shouldn't there be something that's being controlled? This just seems like it's adding more damage. This is an ineffectual update of nothingness. It says nothing. It is 37 words of nothing. presented as damage control. That's even more insulting.
Like it or not, in public relations, even this kind of stuff works. Works and weak-willed and weak-minded, I say, but it works. So, yeah, it's the interesting fact that is that no one really wanted a roadmap. No one asked for it. David Braben just simply came out and said, "Hey, we're going to be putting out, a roadmap for things, and now we have the damn thing." Again, mostly to just distract people from the fact that we are not getting quality product for months, mind you. And that's the sort of the key issue with Elite Dangerous as with this particular Odyssey update, of course. While still the Horizons is playable, but that is until that key moment in about 6 or so months when they're going to be merging the both. And then, Horizons is gonna be ruined basically, unless they drastically change the UI and planet generation, because those those two things particularly are the ones that you feel basically that that will be changed in general. 2 out of 3 changes that will be introduced for Horizons in backwards motion, if you will be ruining the game. The third thing that I'm referring to here is basically better textures for ships and little things essentially. So yeah, the new UI and planet generations. If it in the current state is gonna come to Horizons, boy oh boy, will it be more frustrating to actually play Elite Dangerous more than ever again, or ever before. There we go. So,
by the way, I want to get something off my chest here.
Okay.
We keep turning around. Well, you and everyone, literally everyone else, keeps turning us saying, the game was released too early. We would have been okay if you just, you took your time and released it when it was done. First of all, no, you wouldn't. That's bullshit. None of us would. We wanted the fucking game. We knew it was coming. It's been announced. It's been teased. It's been this and this and that. We knew it was there. We all wanted it. That's the end of it. And if you weren't going to give us the update, then we wanted fixes, and they were already working on the update. So no, it was going to come out. I'm pissed that it took how long? 4 years? 3 years or 4 years?
Technically, in the public side, they announced a new era right after Beyond ended, or during mid Beyond, I think it was, or something like that. They would be working on something for the next thing. So yeah, it's generally speaking on the public side. Admittance was about 2 years ago, but the real development honestly started just as soon as or slightly before Horizons ended. You could feel that in the delivery of the product that was Horizons.
Okay.
Carry on.
So they've been working on it for 3 years. 3 freaking years. And if
100
this
developers,
is what
mind you, or rather, 75. But regardless, carry on.
If this is what we got after 3 years, I'm disappointed, and I don't know whether to be more disappointed in the devs, which I doubt it's their fault, but it's possible. I don't know whether to be more disappointed in the management that maybe cycled the dev team and pushed them through, and everything like that, or I don't know if to be upset at the Cobra engine that apparently is so notoriously hard to write and use and work with that it just slowed everything down, or it's a combination of everything. But I'm pissed that it's been 3 years and we have this. There's nothing here. Why is there nothing here? There's no new gameplay. It's just the same stuff. And in fact, literally the worst stuff from pre-fixed stuff that's been recycled into Odyssey. And I don't understand why. How can you spend 3 years on something and as an expansion, it's just DLC? This doesn't even make any sense. I mean, yes, there's some good stuff in here, and some things are pretty and yay, good, happy, clap, great. I'm great, happy for you. And if you're having fun, good for you. But what the fuck? There's no new gameplay. Not really. Cutting open a hatch and grabbing some engineering components is exactly the same thing we were doing before. In ships, though. It makes no sense. We've reverted engineering? How? Did no one internally playtest this? Is no one there a fan of their own
With the
game?
engineering, I can right away tell you that was maliciously designed. So I don't consider that anymore, the feat engineering, as a how could this be pushed through without knowledge of the existing engineering and so on and so forth. No, that sort of bullshit doesn't slide anymore with me. I consider the feed gameplay a malicious design to waste your time, to constantly keep you in this perpetual super boring game loop just so you waste your time. Literally, there's no fucking other reason why it is the way it is.
I mean, someone in the comments just said that they think that the development team was actually cycled over to someplace else, and this is all third party stuff. And it's wild
outsourcing could be a
speculation.
potential, yes.
It's wild speculation, but I kind of look at this and I think it might be true. I've been saying since day one, this feels like very Korean MMO. The art style of people moving around, it feels very Korean MMO. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but you can see it. There's a style to it. It might be true. I mean, unless someone wants to actively come out there and say, no, we developed this and this is how we did it and this is what we worked on and this is how long it took and blah, 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 blah. And I hate to do this, but fucking a la Star Citizen. Have you seen a Star Citizen roadmap before? They're fucking actively impressive, but they're complicated. I mean, I look at it and I go, yep, they're working on things. And I click away satisfied.
Wow, you're easy to satisfy, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I really am. I have a very low bar, but it does exactly what I said in the beginning. There, it says, there's a little bubble that says what the thing is that they're working on, who's working on it, and when they think they're going to be done. And I mean, if I cared about one particular aspect, like say we got EVA, and we could go out and actually salvage ships like we can in Star Citizen. When that feature was coming out in Star Citizen, I actually watched the little progression tracker for that thing, and I was excited when it was coming out with the scheduled patch. I could actually follow things that I cared about, and I don't know what's happening with Elite. I don't know how we got here. I don't know what's being done about it. I don't know anything, because I have no communication. And it's hilarious to me to watch the unemotional stalwart vanguards of this game, like Obsidian, sit there and actively start to crack at the seams, because I think they're just as frustrated as we are, but he's just much more British and dignified about it.
Well, you got to
it's a problem.
Ask him that in that case, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then.
I'm sorry, I went on a rant. Holy shit.
Well, that's hey, it's a neat reprieve from yours truly, I suppose. But Odyssey, I mean, okay, the point taken about the whole developments and so on and so forth. But the thing is, really, most of the time, publicly reporting the parts of your development for your product, and especially for even updates, right? It puts a needless extra public stress on basically the devs themselves. That's why I don't like roadmaps in general. It's just software development is not as easy, clearly, but
it's what's stress. It's an internal report that should go to the management and then executive teams of who the fuck is working on what. And why and how long?
They probably do have that. You're basically complaining that, hey, in public side we're seeing, or rather we're not seeing this roadmap or similar sort of a progression within development for elite stuff. for which I say again, public such public roadmaps for again public are not a great way to basically develop things. Essentially, for kickstarted projects, yeah, you need to be very accountable, very upfront and honest about what the fuck you're doing with the investment that has been given to you. True, but for development of a DLC,
I disagree. I just look. Okay, well, hold on a minute. I understand where you're coming from. On one hand, you have something like No Man's Sky, that after their initial failure of a launch,
fucking game, by the way.
Hold on. After their initial failure of a launch, they went dead quiet, never responded to anything, and even today, Sean only tweets out when a new expansion is coming out by just putting up an emoji, which is the most bare minimum of communication you can possibly get. And I mean, that's become his flavor. That's become his signature at this point. I get it. And you know what? They have earned the trust of the community and their community and the community at large to turn around and say, hey, actually, you're releasing a lot of shit for free and it's good. And it comes back with all that stuff that we wanted before and fulfills all your promises and adds more. And that's good. So we trust you and we trust your lack of communication. And on the other extreme, you have Star Citizen, who by all rights doesn't need to sit there and tell everyone what their internal teams are developing on. Fine, but they do, and it's a plus. It's a good thing that other media outlets look at, and other game studios should look at and say, hey, look, they're doing transparent development, so that anytime anyone criticizes the game and say this is never going to be fixed, they can point to an actual roadmap saying, actually, I know that Brian over in Team B is working on that as we speak. He'll be done in 3 Saturdays from now. That's its own kind of boon. That's its own kind of plus. Its own merit. It's something to consider. This half-assed thing in between isn't working for me. And I imagine it's not working for anyone else either.
But so what I gather is essentially you expect basically for, let's say, Elite Dangerous in this case, Odyssey before it was launched, right? To report on the progress of the development for the new era, as we knew back then, before we knew that it was called Odyssey, or Watson, basically. You expected them to report on that sort of a detail? Or rather, you wanted it?
No,
or are you right now after a fuck up expecting that sort of accountability?
No, I'm going to tell you is that I'm expecting that after you've gone and launched your expansion, and it's bombed, that you be transparent and that you've acknowledged that we have all been asking for more communication. More transparency.
Well, they acknowledged that they heard that you want more communication. They promised to do more. What are you talking about? The pilot in that roadmap post, they specifically have the last portion of that post, literally talking about.
This is exactly my point.
We want to put out a monthly highlight of all that is accomplished in Odyssey as a development. What are you complaining there, buddy? Pilot, come on.
That's exactly. You are making exactly the point I'm making. Is that look, you've acknowledged that we want more communication. Cool. Now you need to actually give it to us and not just
that one's a hard sell. The fact is, we've seen the song and dance before. We've seen front-end development say, yeah, we promise to communicate more. Yeah, we promise to do more. Blah, blah, blah. It goes on for the first sort of iteration of the next update. And that after that, immediately gets completely forgotten and completely ignored. And we're going back to the old ways of frontier developments. Company's MO, and that is fuck the customer. But that's just my view of things, of course. Let's not assume that that's basically how it really happens. But basically, just That's how I see it oftentimes. So yeah, fun.
That was
fun.
super interesting. You from my perspective, you just cut off mid sentence, and I couldn't hear you, and then apparently I got kicked from the Discord room.
Well, happens from time to times. But yeah, generally speaking, it's we have seen basically how Frontier Developments as a company, as this even as this dev team that handles Elite Dangerous, handles the fucking community and the way they handle the product itself, or basically, yeah, if you will. So I say don't expect any proper accountability at this point. I mean, they fucked up, or rather the higher ups fucked the whole company, generally speaking, and now basically the boots on the ground developers have to just go through the code, go through the whole product to actually make it what was promised and what was supposed to be developed, if given enough time. Now, granted, there's also, well, even if, let's say, Odyssey worked properly in this current form, there wouldn't be much to do in it for the $40 especially, which is questionable thing. It feels like something was caught building. But even then, the even existing features that are, again, UI, galaxy map, that is, and outfitting, and feet UI. What else? Of course. Fuck it. Let's just go with UI. Essentially, that has its own ability to ruin. Well, rather, it is literally ruining the experience of the game in of itself. Just the whole thing, not just the Odyssey update. Which is the saddest thing, because we're not anymore talking about only just, hey, they released this thing broken, but also even the existing ideas and principles, the changes that are made and are planned to be pushed onto the rest of the game, rest of the versions of the game. Those are just bad and terrible, and just makes you question who thought that this was right. So, yeah, I don't know. And of course, the plan generation and so on and so forth. VR, well, I wouldn't say VR is going to be destroyed or, worsened or, just shat upon.
Chip
again.
interiors.
It's just that damn it, what was it? The Odyssey VR version isn't really gonna stay the same that it is right now. So no, VR is basically an abandoned thing. Yes, so that's how it. Well, that's basically what it is. I mean, on one hand, there's not much to do with VR, essentially, when it comes down to making, stuff like Odyssey stuff. Either A, you commit for a full VR title level of development, which let's be frank, Frontier and committing to actually develop a quality product, haha, what a joke. So yeah, a full VR is never gonna happen, obviously, and they're gonna do bare minimum to just upkeep it. In fact, they're gonna be doing bare minimum to make this thing work in the first place, especially now. They are rushing right now to just get this thing working so that on consoles it's not such a big disaster. I do wonder what will happen on the console launch, because well, there's a chance that something like this might happen again just on consoles, essentially unplayable level of crap. But well, considering that they learned something from this kind of a launch, maybe they will be more incentivized to delay if need be, or crunch like crazy, even though technically Frontier is one of those rare companies that is very, very much against crunch and such overtime stuff, generally speaking. So at least that's one still positive that I can say about the company, and in fact that's the only positive that I can to this day still say about the company. Oh boy,
I feel bad for them. I feel bad for them.
I absolutely feel bad for every single employee out there. Imagine you even liking this what you're working on, let's say, right? Having your work without your approval being pushed out just because, hey, buddy, well, we can't make money, and thus we can't pay your salary if we don't put out your broken work. I mean, you should have probably worked, harder and faster, right? But that's how business rolls, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, I legitimately feel bad for everybody involved with this. I know this is not what you intended,
but except maybe
someone...
for PR. I mean, PR deserve a good ass kicking, honestly speaking. But that's just my own thing. Anyways, carry on. Yes.
I know for a fact that at least one group that was in charge of the thing with our friends, they weren't happy with how it went. I feel bad for the community team. Those guys,
I kind of don't.
I know they're just trying their best. Those guys are trying their best to put lipstick on a pig here and
smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Smile and wave, boys. I feel bad for the devs because whatever work they did, if they feel frustrated that it didn't work properly or if it didn't work, like you said, it was rushed out. I feel bad for everybody involved here, except for what I would have to imagine is the middle management bastard who said, we set a target, we're releasing it today, that's it, get it done.
It's not even the middle management, mate. It's higher ups in general. That's management in general. Well, even middle management can be pushed this stuff on to, basically to execute on the plan, rather. It comes from, really comes from the top, the CEO's office and others just saying, well, we can't delay this thing. You absolutely can't delay this thing. We have to get this product for this specific deadline out for our shareholders to at least have this promised product so that, we are not accountable and we can't be sued for not yet again delivering this thing. Because, well, again, remember, they wanted to push out something like this last year. End of last year was the original date. Or wait, no, hold on.
COVID. It was COVID. No, I'm not going to blame anyone. I'm not going to blame anyone for COVID.
We're not blaming anyone for the COVID thing, but the fact that they didn't delay it for even longer is, well, now that one we can blame on them though. So. Yeah,
I like the comment that it's in the chat. So rather than complaining, the community needs to focus on accountability and constructive criticism, which is the nicest way of, hey, stop complaining. I like the game, dude. We've been doing this particular dance. Yeah, we've been doing this particular dance for what, 5 years? It's there is no constructive criticism that will be taken.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, the first thing you have to realize is that the rose-tinted glasses that, they listen to us, they implement changes. No, they don't. They might change things, according to feedback, especially if it is very extremely negative and so on and so forth. But the fact is, after seeing the company work as they do, and after trying to do my fucking best on the personal scale to, put in, both the feedback as well as all sorts of, incentives or pushes essentially to have something changed in many different variations. I've seen others, of course, also perform quite different styles of, feedback providing and, all that wonderful stuff that might change the game if there is incentive. None of that being responded to in the slightest. Well, okay, I shouldn't say none of it, but very, very, very little amount. Even when, remember that focused feedback time? Remember when Crime and Punishment was about to change for the start of Beyond? Remember there was this ganker group called Smiling Dog Crew? They put out a wonderful, wonderful suggestion list, a massive post, bigger than anyone ever did, with wonderful suggestions, some of them not realistic, but obviously some of them really decent. And none of that was listened to. And later on, also similar things have been just pushed out again. None of that is being listened. Basically, we've seen the way the company acts and reacts to our presence, essentially, as the customers. And from that MO, learning from it over the years. No, I can tell you that Odyssey is just gonna be fixed to the bare minimum viable product. But even then, sure, feel free to provide your commentary, feel free to provide your feedback, and sure, that might help. But the cynic in me is still saying that, yeah, good luck with getting any of that go through. Fine. Fuck it.
Do you want to know how I know how it doesn't work? The focused feedback or anything like that. And yeah, this is a cynical view. But if you go and you're on Twitter and you message Frontier support, I'm having trouble with Elite. This is the problem, et cetera, et cetera. This is how it happens. This is what I'm doing, and this is the crash or whatever the issue is caused. That the person who responds, that account will only ever say, hey, please go to the Frontier support and fill out this ticket with all the information that you just provided, just right here, like this, and send it as a ticket, and we'll help you. Cool. That's the only thing that Twitter account says. And I finally got sick of it, and I called it. I called them on it. I said, here's the thing. Here's some actual customer support. Maybe don't just tell people to rewrite the same fucking thing they just wrote.
Okay.
Why don't you actually create the ticket for them?
Yes, okay, Pilot. It's nice and wonderful that you care about that thing, but the problem is Frontier support essentially most likely is some call center, or what most companies do is hire an outsider, outsourced call center or a firm that has a database, the knowledge base where they look through, what is possible to do. This happened, as a matter of fact, with Fallout 76 a lot. People
I'm not actually talking about the process. I'm not talking about the process. I'm talking about the culture that it's indicative of. It's an attempt to look like, hey, we can support you here, and you can message the team and make sure that your voice is heard. But it's not actually true. It just tells you to go here and click this and rewrite the same thing you did before. And they've adopted that. It's useless. It's a vestigial appendage for customer service. It means nothing. It does nothing. And it's indicative of what I'm starting to feel like is FDev's culture. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, definitely there is certainly those parallels. Absolutely, I can tell you that. But often, knowing what I know about the industry in general, is just that I more likely attribute this sort of attitude that you're getting on the Twitter, or from tech support, basically, is something that might be attributed to what every other, in this case, game company usually do, is just outsource the stuff to something outside, and that Twitter also is being handled by the outside company, and blah, blah, blah. So
I kind of feel like you didn't hear what I was saying.
Well, yeah, fine. Yeah, they do have this whole thing. Go to our forums suggesting, and we'll make sure to ignore it. Yeah. I mean, I did talk about that a little bit, but anyways, yeah. My other point about the whole feedback providing is essentially right now, we have a broken product essentially, and we as customers should be asking for accountability and explanations, and of course, more so, refunds potentially, if the product is not performing to the expected level. That's bottom line. We are essentially customers, and if we're gonna be handled like fucking sheeple, well, we still have our rights technically, right? And well, we shouldn't be so eager to essentially accept what a basically just this sort of a company is attempting to pull, and then basically ignore the public, just for the sake of, again, profiteering, essentially. But, that's just a lesson of the day. Anyways, I suppose we can move on for the end of the Space Race news for some other topics. So, anything interesting from your side?
I think I'd like to play Knockout City. That looks pretty interesting. It's a MMO dodgeball thing where you or not MMO, but you know what I'm saying. It's a online dodgeball thing. You run around, throw dodgeballs, and some of them explode, and some of them do wicked curves, and some of them do this and that. Looks kind of fun, but it's EA, so I'm kind of.
I mean, well, there is actually a small game that sometimes me and my friends actually play in LAN. It's called Robot Roller Derby, I think it was, or Robot Roller Dodgeball Derby or something like that. Those 4 letters, I think it was, words. I mean, in that one particularly. So I'm not very keen on it personally speaking.
Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball.
There we go. Yes, that's the one. It's a decent game. It has its unique style, and it works for a good sort of a friendly pick up and play sort of a game. So yeah, there you go. That's an indie game that we can recommend, or at least I can. So yeah, right. Yeah, it's decent overall. Right. Anyways, on another topic then, on tech news, as a matter of fact, let's go with that. So yeah, recently AMD, announced basically a release of the Fidelity FX super resolution. Basically, AMD's response to NVIDIA's DLSS. Now, if you did watch Linus Tech Tips, take a quick look on basically those news. They did, report basically that it's what seems to be a post-processing upscaling sort of a method with basically sharpening, but of course it's probably a bit more difficult, more complex than that. Still. Apparently, it will be coming out on June 22nd, and as reported oftentimes in many places, it will be available not only for AMD cards, but for basically everyone. So you'll be able to sort of test it out, and the quality is reported already. That is, not as, particularly nice as DLSS in comparison, but we'll see how it goes in the future. Also, it requires developer support, so currently there are a bunch of games that are listed as supported. Let's see, Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, basically the same 3 games that run on the same engine, or the version of the engine basically, and and of course more of another other few titles, if you will. So it's probably at least worth, well, I suppose checking out. So there you go. And here's a fun little topic. So yeah, do you like competitive play? Well, for Counter-Strike, Valve has this, Valve, I think it was, because the other company was handling the initial development. Regardless, right, Valve has decided essentially that no more free-to-play players will be allowed to join in on competitive matches. They reported basically for the bad actors within that sort of a community of the free-to-play essentially just abuse the free-to-play nature of the game. To make future competitive play, a little bit more competitive and actually less shit, essentially, they are locking out the non-paying players from actually even starting the competitive matches. So it'll be interesting to see the changes.
Kind of like a dick move.
It seems like a dick move, but think about it, right? So imagine a cheater, right? They have managed to find a way to get or be undetected for long enough to, rise up through some ranks or, play a few matches at the very least, right? Well, with the free accounts being able to join in on that fun, well, you got one account banned. 5 minutes later, you got another one. And that's kind of the issue with the overall free-to-play games in general, right? Unless they have some sort of proper checking mechanism and blah blah blah, it's often very easy to abuse for these kinds of both Smurf accounts as well as just essentially rampant cheating and so on and so forth. Actually, quite a lot of that we can see in Team Fortress 2, as a matter of fact, for the last couple of years.
Hold on. Before you go off on this huge tangent and it's 10 minutes later.
Oh no,
isn't this just whale hunting? Isn't this just whale hunting? Yeah, you always tell me that you love Sterling's imagery about whale hunting and how, I mean, isn't just locking off competitive play where you could be ranked and acknowledged behind actual money, just whale hunting? You
It's
need that
rather
emotional,
it's rather returning to that state. Um, the thing is, right? So Counter-Strike Global Offensive was not free to play for majority of its lifetime when it launched, and just let's say I think it was about 3 years ago when it came to free to play. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course, but basically it became a free to play game, and ever since then you started seeing influx, obviously, in the bad actors, of course, of not only just cheaters or attempted cheaters, just simply just bad actors in general. And there is something to be said about, generally speaking, about premium game communities versus free to play game communities, if you will. And what this move is essentially is just competitive, within the internal elite, within the internal Counter-Strike structure, to put the competitive essentially behind that premium wall, so to put a sort of a wall of entry, if you will, or whatever it was called, as a deterrent in a way. And that has been proven in the past in many games, in basically all games, free or premium, that it has, provided a certain amount of actual results. So yeah. It's interesting, and it's not really about whale hunting again. I think... let's see, up until this moment, if you reached a certain rank, I think it was, you would get a premium status for your account, basically, after playing long enough, and so on and so forth. But regardless, the point is that they are making this particular change, and we'll see how that basically changes overall game structure. There's also something to be noted before I'm done with this topic. Before this change, a lot of people, if they really wanted to go with competitive play, as a matter of fact, chose to go and play with Faceit. Those that don't know, Faceit essentially is a third party, a sort of a self-organized fan competitive matchmaking sort of a site, essentially. You would just register there as well with the free accounts as well as paid accounts, and they would see about the same sort of a thing. But it was often noted it was far more fairer and less filled with cheaters than the official competitive play than in the normal Counter-Strike. So there is certainly something to be said about just generally the paywall, even a small paywall, to deter a certain amount of that ne'er-do-wells, if you will. So yeah, we'll see how that pans out.
I gotta be honest with you. I kind of phased out there because
absolutely okay. Not everyone cares about shooters like I do. So
no,
Counter-Strike is my history, so I kind of care.
No, it's not that. It's I was someone just sent me the most viewed Twitch clip of last month, and yeah, if you want to put that up on stream, I just sent it to you.
Why does it not surprise me? Twitch, you fucking shit yet again. Well, I mean, I honestly, for a second there, I thought that last month's Elite most viewed clip, so I thought, okay, he's gonna show me a bug or whatnot else, which is most likely true about Elite Dangerous most viewed clip. But anyways, yeah, honestly, this does not surprise me. And what he showed me,
you gotta show it on stream.
No, I will not show it because no, I'm not even gonna reference this. I'm gonna say only it has its own subcategory added to Twitch just recently because of the rampancy of
It's not like we can't show it. It's
Totting,
not
if
like
you
it's
will.
against the rules.
There you go. That's
It's not like
as
it's
much as
against
I'm
the
willing
rules.
to acknowledge that segment of just trash. That's it. I honestly just yeah. Anyways, carrying on. Yeah, it's exactly in the chats knows what's up. Yeah, it's basically that. Just that. And I'm not willing to acknowledge it even by fucking name because fuck that part of the market, or well, entertainment rather. Anyways,
no
for
fun.
the end of the stream, there's still let's see, one topic. Yes, actually, hey, let's end on a positive note then, shall we?
Why?
Just recently, No Man's Sky. Thanks, chat. Okay. Well, okay. Well, all right. Moving on. Recently, No Man's Sky has released another update, a small update with a few changes here and there. Nothing too outstanding, but notable little things that are always nice to boot up the game for and check out again. This time it's called Prism Update, and it focuses on the cave spelunking, or the biomes within the caves, and you know, a few more graphics changes, which are always nice to see. So, Pilot, though, did you play No Man's Sky in the recent?
I have been playing No Man's Sky for like the last.
Well, then
2
take
weeks.
it away.
I've enjoyed the hell out of the expeditions. I've enjoyed the hell out of the little tiny weekend goals, which, by the way, have gotten a lot freaking harder. It used to be just the standard, you know, like go here, blow up a Sentinel depot, come home, get 1,200 silver because it's the weekend, and the rest of the week, you know, you're kind of boned and left to the 250 Quicksilver missions. But you know, these ones have gotten like really kind of challenging. Like the one for this week was go rescue a life form. I'm like, oh, I've done this a billion times. It's fine. I go and like fly off to this super volcano world that's black and white, so it sucks all the color out. It's constantly in superheated storms. It's constantly in darkness. The daylight shift is like, you know, 2 minutes. Something like that. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Oh, and it's got deranged, crazed sentinels. So you just land and like they're instantly on top of you. And you know, it's not just to repair this guy's drive or anything like that. It's you have to go find a certain thing and then use the thing and see if there's a scan thing, and then it doesn't. You have to do it like 6 or 7 different times, all while running from sentinels, only to finally unlock the damn thing you need, get to the terminal, and you have to take down like 7 sentinels just to use the damn thing, to go back to claim it with the guy so he can take off, so you could go back and get your 1,200 Quicksilver. And you're like, God damn. That shit was difficult.
Kind of, though, sounds more like a grind, but hey, you know, kind of...
I mean, it's
honestly,
more challenging than they
I kind of got a bit disillusioned last time when they introduced something within No Man's Sky, and that was the living ships. And boy, is that fucking thing a time-wasting grind. Literally time-wasting. Because it has 24-hour, or was it 12-hour, timer for hatching a pot. Literally
no. There was like a point there where it takes like you had to like wait a day or two, like not even just 12 hours. Yeah, no, that was terrible. But they haven't really done that.
But yeah, they
haven't really done that since. Yeah.
So
which I'm okay with.
I'm always weary for that sort of thing. Every time it's like something potentially good. Does it have a grind? Because I know you tried it once. I'm not letting you skirt the shit by me again. No? Okay. Pat on the bat. Okay, now you can go play. So
yeah, actually, I'm just saying. I actually went out and I bought the synthetic, you know, the tree guy, the one with the tree head and the glowing
the cosmetic seller. Yes.
I finally got that thing last night, and I was just very happy about it. I've been working towards that for a while, and I got a huge giant like rhinoceros beetle that's like 3 times the size of my ship, and he just like lands behind me and does things. It's actually a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. I have a giant beetle. I have a weird tree head. I have a living ship, and I'm blowing stuff up and having fun. I like it. I think it's very well done. That's just me.
All right then. I suppose on that positive note, I guess we can close off the Space Race news for this week. So, I don't know. Any final remarks, perhaps? Before
We're pretty. Give us money.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I haven't. I mean, Hold on. There was actually somebody being generous there. Right. So, give me a moment. Elias, back up your Horizons binaries now. I believe one day enthusiasts will bring back Horizons back to life, and those copyrighted binaries will allow to play revived game illegally.
Okay.
Thanks for your contribution. That's all I'm going to be saying. Yeah. Anyways, right. Anyways, yeah. So if you enjoyed the stream and the nonsense that we get up to these particular space-based news, and no, the strikes don't fucking work, mate. Anyways, carrying on. So yeah, essentially, yeah. Check out other broadcasts that we have, essentially, about the space-based news and the past nonsense about games and other things within the industry. There's a playlist publicly available on my channel. So, yeah, and then yeah, subscribe, follow, and all that stuff, both to me and Pilot. I mean, he doesn't really cares about this channel, so yay.
Yeah,
but anyways.
It's fine.
All right.
The channel's over. It's fine.
Oh. Well, okay then. Okay then. Anyways, well, that aside, of course, do check out Patreon if you want to support the content that I do here with Pilot's help, and Pilot also think to have still Patreon if you do you
remember? Yeah, I do. But remember, guys, for $1,000 this month, Yemix will wear a mankini and show off on stream. Just go ahead, just donate that money now, guys.
What? No,
we can get him in that
no
mankini.
Such thing, God damn it! Oh God!
Yes, he did. He lies.
Bullshit.